The Honourable Nikki Kay.
Mr Chair, I'm very pleased to take a call in this new debate, but around services for business, because what we know on this side of the House is that in order to have decent services for businesses and for many government departments to be delivering initiatives that create wealth in New Zealand, we need a good business environment. That means RMA reform, that means labour reform, that means projects like the International Convention Centre, all of which this side of the House oppose. So for them to stand up and lecture us on services for business when they have opposed RMA reform, they have argued for massive increases in the minimum wage, they have opposed the International Convention Centre, they have opposed major infrastructure projects, they advocate for increasing a whole lot of taxes, is actually not fair. We know on this side of the House that we've got a range of initiatives that have been set out in a number of these reports by these ministries that we are doing. They include, as I've already mentioned, $326 million around national science challenges. They include major infrastructure investment. But the one that I want to deal with was just dealt with by the previous speaker, and that's exports. So again, we're getting a lecture from the opposition around trade and exports. Well, Mr Speaker, let's actually look at the facts. If we look at the facts in terms of increasing exports, our exports have increased by 16.73% since 2008. Also, we have engaged in several major initiatives. We've got the Chinese Taipei Agreement that came into force on the 1st of December 2013. That's seen New Zealand goods exports grew by 17.9%. And then we had a lecture around diversification of exports. Well, actually, and I know Mr Joyce has been saying this in the House a number of times, while primary products have been a major factor in this increase, we have seen growth in other sectors. For instance, in the IT sector, we saw a 9.4% CAGR in the 10 years to reach $723 million. That's a significant growth in that area, and part of that is actually a range of initiatives that we've been involved in. We've been involved in investing a whole lot of money around not only the skills and training in some of these sectors, that has been not only in our tertiary sector, the investment we've seen there, we've also seen other initiatives in New Zealand around things like the Wynyard Quarter, the Innovation Precinct, and all of that is about supporting that ICT sector to ensure that we have that diversification. But we also need free trade deals, and no one has a better record than this government. Whether it is Taipei or whether it is Korea, those are things that have been initiated by our government, but we've also seen coming into force the Chinese Free Trade Agreement. And just to give you some figures on that, under our government, in terms of merchandise exports to China, they have almost quadrupled from $2.5 billion in 2008 to $9.9 billion in 2014. Again, I was with the Prime Minister in China. He has been incredibly active in that relationship, and part of trade is actually about building those relationships. So you have on this side the party that say no to everything. They say no to RMA reform, they say no to the International Convention Centre, they say yes to more taxes, they say yes to more regulation, and we are the party of getting things done like the International Convention Centre, like pushing investment in innovation and science funding, like more free trade deals. We are the party that is sending the country in the right direction. They are the party that advocate for the opposite.
Dr Kennedy Graham.